Welcome in. Have a seat. Thank you so much for being here. We have a really great show for you today. One of our main features tonight is how artificial intelligence, or AI, is changing hearing aids. So we'll show you how it works and also how easy the technology is to use. And Biden's Northern California trip continues. He spoke about the very real future of AI in our everyday lives. So of course we'll dive into that. But first, let's get you caught up on the news of the day. Riverbend Park in Sacramento County is now the site of a state investigation. You see it right here on the map. The area is known for people visiting the American River and all the beautiful wildlife. But now deer are being killed. Luke Clary is hearing from investigators and joins us live with what we know so far. Luke.
Hey Alex, yeah, I'm here at Riverbend Park. It's right off of the American River Parkway, and deer hunting is illegal here. Yet, the Department of Fish and Wildlife tell us that it's been a perennial problem. So much so to the point I want to show you this. A private citizen has actually taken it upon himself to take matters into his own hands. Tim McGinn says that he comes out here every year to photograph the deer, including the big bucks and their antlers. And he noticed that their numbers were falling, so he got the funding together to post these signs all along the parkway. They say stop poachers and include the cow tip line to alert the authorities. The Department of Fish and Wildlife tell us that this is a problem that they are monitoring, and it's been going on for some time.
People poach them for the meat. People poach them simply to cut the antlers off and keep them as some type of a trophy. People poach them for just the thrill of it, to get away with something. And we've seen all of it. We've seen all of it here, and all of those are unlawful in this parkway. And it's something that we're going to take seriously. We're going to investigate that and use every tool at our disposal.
Poaching is a misdemeanor offense. It carries a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail, a $1,000 fine, and court fees. And as you come back out here to me live, the Department of Fish and Wildlife says that if you see anything suspicious, particularly someone walking along the parkway with a crossbow or a bow and arrow, and certainly a rifle, particularly at night, you should give them a call. It's right here on the Stop Poacher signs that are posted along the American River Parkway. They also say that you can just dial into 911. It's that serious of a problem, and that's just how seriously the department is taking this, Alex.
And salmon fishing is not allowed due to low population counts this year. Has that been a problem there too?
Well, not yet. The department says give it until about July when we see the salmon making their way into the water system here. And as we get into August, September, and particularly the peak seasons of October and November, that is going to be a major priority as well, because Alex, as you said, the numbers have just been so low that salmon fishing is banned this year.
All right, Luke, thank you so much. And there's a lot going on in our news locally today. Here's what else people are talking about. Former UC Davis student and accused serial killer Carlos Dominguez was back in court today. He's accused of stabbing 2 men to death and stabbing a homeless woman who survived the attack. Today, a doctor said Dominguez is not competent to stand trial, but the 21-year-old spoke directly to the judge.
I want to apologize, and I want to say I'm guilty and forgive me for...
Hold on, sir, you have a Fifth Amendment right.
Dominguez already entered a not guilty plea. A jury will now determine his competency next month. The search continues for the person or people responsible for spreading these flyers across neighborhoods in East Sacramento. They have anti-Semitic and racist words on them, which is why we have blurred many of these images since our reporting last night. Now on the show, investigators say a website was promoted on the flyers, and a bias-based crime detective is a part of this investigation. And an update to a story that we brought you earlier this month about the Project 8 winery in Penryn. Just minutes ago, the Placer County Board of Supervisors approved the environmental impact report, allowing that project to move forward. There was hours of public comment about this winery, and dozens of people spoke against the project. And debate over whether or not to fly a flag in support of the LGBTQIA community is front and center at tonight's Stockton City Council meeting. In last week's meeting, the City Council pushed the debate to tonight. So right now, we still don't know the outcome of that vote, but Jeannie Nguyen is in Stockton to show us how the LGBTQ community is responding to this today.
Now, that city council meeting started at 5:30 tonight, and a lot of community advocates came out today to show support for the LGBTQ community. Now, even though this decision was delayed by a week, many of the people here today tell me they feel positive that city council members will do the right thing.
The symbolism is still pretty powerful and potent to see be raised up.
As a proud member of the LGBTQ community, David Sangtai has hopes to see the pride flag flying at City Hall in his hometown. That is why he joined the San Joaquin Pride Center in rallying in front of City Hall today to make sure that hope becomes a reality.
Apply pressure to our city council members and our Mayor Lincoln to raise the pride flag for the final week of June.
This comes after the Stockton City Council decided to delay making a decision last week on whether or not to display the pride flag on city flag poles. During last week's meeting, council members Michelle Padilla and Michael Blower expressed hesitation.
Our city is suffering from crime and homelessness, and that's where our focus needs to be.
Both Padilla and Blower are making it clear that they do stand with the LGBTQ community, regardless of their decision regarding the flag.
I don't want to see people discriminated against, but I also just don't understand why one group would get a flag.
But for James Patnode, he says these responses just make him roll his eyes.
That's one of the oldest excuses in the book, in my opinion. Raising a flag is the bare minimum that a government agency or organization can do to show their support for our community.
Today, he and other supporters showed up to City Hall to make sure council members know where they stand.
We are citizens of Stockton, and we need to be represented just and have our humanity acknowledged in the same way that anybody else's is.
Regardless of today's decision, the group says they will keep on fighting for their rights. The California Women's List also raised more than $1,000 for the San Joaquin Pride Center to help with their mobilizing efforts, just like their cause for today.
Coming up onto the point, accountability, what a new audit of the Sacramento City Police Department is revealing.
Cool temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s for the last day of spring. Meanwhile, tomorrow starts off summer, when we can expect some much warmer temperatures on the way.
And we're in the Stockton community learning how one audiologist is helping improve older residents' hearing using artificial intelligence. All right, it's time to get to check your weather. And believe it or not, tomorrow's the first day of summer, but Carly, it has not felt like summer, but I'm not complaining. I like the cooler weather.
Yeah, it has not felt like summer at all. Upper 70s today for the high at 78 degrees, and summer solstice kicks off tomorrow morning at 7:58 a.m. as we hopefully expect to see some more of that hot weather for the kids this summer, because I know they've been looking at getting into those pools, and I keep hearing it. When is it going to warm up? Some people saying, please, let's not warm up too quickly, and I get that as well. All right, let's talk about our high of 78. The average, though, this time of year is 89 degrees, and we've actually seen more 90-degree days than we have 100-degree days this year. We usually average our first triple-digit day around June 4th. We haven't even seen a triple-digit day just yet. As we talk about the first day of summer being tomorrow, we're still looking at cool temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s, well below the average of this time of year of 89, but still warm. See our thunderstorm chances arrive Thursday and Friday. As we can see them on Thursday, mostly for the higher Sierra spots and further north toward Redding, as well as into much northern California and Shasta County up toward Oregon. Otherwise, we are still looking at that nice delta breeze, 10, 15, even almost 20 miles per hour near Elk Grove as we move into the evening hours. As also for the Fairfield area, very similar, stronger winds through the coastal range, very similar day again into your Thursday afternoon, evening. So we'll still see this delta breeze sticking around with us. Above average temperatures are expected for areas around the south, but check out the Climate Prediction Center for us. They expect us to be closer to that orange shade there, which is above average for this time of year in the next 2 weeks. So we could start seeing those 90s and mid 90s out there. Lower foothills for tomorrow looking at 85 in Ione, 81 in Jackson, and 77 in Groveland. The 10-day forecast brings our temperatures for the next few days upper 70s and low 80s into the weekend, mostly sunny, but by next week around this time, by Wednesday, we should start getting into the 90s and maybe even mid 90s by that following Friday.
It's a race against the clock to find a Titanic submarine crew. The new details coming up after the break. New details in the search for a Titanic submarine crew. It's estimated rescuers, which includes the U.S. military, now have until tomorrow morning to find the missing sub before the air supply on board for 5 people runs out. Today, the New York Times reported that industry leaders were concerned about this experimental trip to the site of the Titanic wreckage in the submarine as far back as 5 years ago. And tonight, we are keeping our eyes on Sacramento City Council. The city police chief is speaking after the release of a new audit. The Sacramento Community Police Review Commission detailed misconduct complaint cases, and we've learned in one case, officers handcuffed a 10-year-old African-American girl who was not a threat to officers and was only crying. The report includes 10 findings and makes 19 recommendations. The chair of the commission says that she hopes that this audit will serve as an opportunity.
I think additional conversations are definitely warranted. What I would hate for the audit to come out and then nothing come of it. So I'm actually looking forward to working with OPSA and PD to try to figure out how do we actually start addressing and really ensuring that in Sacramento, we actually have a path forward that other cities can look at and model.
We are speaking with police tonight following the audit's release. We'll have that coming up on Late News Tonight at 11. After a 5-year investigation, federal prosecutors have cut a deal with President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. He will plead guilty to two misdemeanor tax charges and acknowledge that he illegally bought a gun at a time when he was addicted to crack cocaine. While in San Francisco today, President Biden said he is very proud of his son, while Republican leadership says that they want to continue their investigation into Biden business deals. And in Your Voice, Your Vote, President Biden continues his trip in the Bay Area. Today, the president spoke about artificial intelligence. He sat down with AI researchers and experts to discuss the risks and benefits. His administration has already created some regulations in the AI field.
Last October, we proposed an AI Bill of Rights to ensure that important protections were built into the AI systems from the very start. Earlier this year, I signed an executive order to direct my cabinet to root out bias in the design and use of AI. And in May, we announced a new strategy for funding for responsible AI development.
AI is already changing our lives with ChatGPT and even detecting fires, like this small piece of tech that can detect smoke outdoors, hinting that there might be a fire nearby. And tonight, we want to introduce you to AI hearing aids. An audiologist in Stockton is making home visits, showing older residents how to use the new technology, and it's really changing lives. Photojournalist Xavier Uardi has the story.
I've had a very exciting life, very exciting, for a little homemaker from Stockton, California. I also wrote the sesquicentennial show that was done for the city of Stockton. I also performed at Carnegie Hall. I was having trouble hearing. I didn't realize how much trouble. I was reading to children and I wouldn't hear their questions. I went to my hearing check and they said, oh yeah, I definitely needed hearing aids. I fell in love with Tony and Lizzie. I can't tell you how gracious they were.
When we start somebody on their hearing journey, because it's a process, it should not be a one and done, there you go, thank you, see ya. It should be this is our practice, this is who we are, I hope you like us, because we're gonna be seeing a lot of each other. We had the Signia come across our desk, and we started to read the literature on the artificial intelligence that they're employing. About 5 years ago, the technology blossomed and they were able to get 360-degree sound field, which is huge because that affects your balance. It also is safety, people behind you, next to you, near you, traffic. Your hearing is centered in the temporal lobes along with your memory. And so when that isn't getting stimulated, it kind of recedes and shrinks. It atrophies like any other muscle.
I am not a tech person at all, but I can use my phone to adjust my hearing aid. So it is easy. If I can use it, anybody can use it.
The AI is not traditional AI. It's not taking any of your personal information. It's not taking your name, anything that can be connected to you. It's just taking mathematical understanding of an environment and shooting it up to the cloud. Then if you're in a situation where you're struggling and your situation matches something anything else, or most likely many other things that people have experienced, it will then put those sound parameters as options for you to experience to see if that's something that will work for you. Whenever you hear a beep, no matter how softly, I want you to press the button. We do a lot of work within our community. In the past, we started with Rio Las Palmas, and we have a number of clients in their facility that we still will visit on occasion. And we do work at the Stockton Community Center. We work at the Lodi, the Lowell Center. We go and we test. We offer all of our testing and clean and checks gratis, completely free. I look forward to making a difference in people's lives, because what I do, what I spend like maybe 3 minutes doing here on a computer will affect them every single day, inside and outside of whatever it is they're doing. And that's huge.
Many people my age think, well, you know, they're at home alone anyway, it doesn't make that much difference. You deserve to be able to enjoy every sound available to you if you are 50, 60, 70. You can't live your life thinking, I don't know how much time I have left. I mean, that would be a horrible way to exist. And your hearing is a huge part of that.
And I want to mention, we first met Lizzie back in January because $12,000 was drained from her business Bank of America account because of a fraudulent Zelle transaction. We reached out to the bank about this and are happy to report that that money was returned to the account, and it helped Lizzie get back on the road to do what she loves to do most, and that's help people in the San Joaquin Valley. So to learn more about her services and these high-tech hearing aids, head to abc10.com/to-the-point. All right, as we head to break, we want to introduce you to the local LGBTQ+ community as we celebrate Pride Month.
Hello, my name is Manny. I'm Cherokee Apache and also with Chumney. I live in Sacramento. My pronouns are he, him, and they, them, and I identify as Two-Spirit and also part of the LGBTQ+ community. Back in 2010, I believe it was 2010 or 2009, so long ago, that's when I actually came out to my family. I came out to one family member, and that was a really big moment for me as one, as an individual, and then two, as somebody who was learning how to navigate the world. And there became a time where I really had to come inwards. I really had to look inwards and see, what does being Two-Spirit mean to me? Something that's very important to remember is that Two-Spirit, the term Two-Spirit, was created for and also provided to our Native American people of North America through vision.
Welcome back. We always end the show with a preview of what we're working on for tomorrow. And on Wednesday, we're taking a closer look at anti-LGBTQ legislation and threats. California is not immune to discrimination against people in the LGBTQ+ communities. Some cities and towns like Sacramento and Woodland have experienced protests at drag events like a drag story hour for children. The Proud Boys, white supremacists, and religious extremists have shown up, but that's not stopping some drag performers from being who they are.
No hate crime, no hate group, no anything can take away the love that I have for my art form, the love that I have for my community. Nothing will ever take that away from me. So that's what keeps me going.
And the country's state legislatures have introduced a record number of anti-LGBTQ bills this year. 75 of the nearly 500 bills have already been turned into law. So we're taking a closer look at all of that tomorrow right here on To The Point. And this Sunday, ABC News is celebrating Pride Month with a special streaming event called Pride Across America. They are featuring 5 hours of live coverage from 3 of the nation's biggest Pride marches, including one in San Francisco. They'll also have some special guests, so you can stream it on ABC platforms or Hulu if you're a subscriber. Also, make sure to email me and the team. Let us know what you want us to look into. We always love hearing from you. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.